So the regular season's over. And the Bills won! The Bills won! The Bills won. Most people wrote us off.
He didn't want us. Now he hot and all over.
Yeah, I was very hyped up after that game. I was up until about 2:30 in the morning. Deion Dawkins got on social media and said that everybody should come to the airport for when they flew back from Miami.
Hey, we want to see all of y'all. We get back to Buffalo. Flood it. Flood it. Flood it.
I'm gonna lie, I was very tempted. I finally had enough sense to realize that driving to Buffalo and back in the pitch black in the middle of the night with no sleep was probably not a good idea. Also, I wouldn't be back to get my kids ready for school. They don't really need me, but you know what I mean. So yeah, we're officially the number 2 seed, which means everybody has to come to Buffalo other than Baltimore if we continue on through the various rounds of the playoff. Hard Rock Stadium sounded awfully close to home field advantage the other night too. My parents were there, although they do not alone make up a crowd. But if you listen to the crowd reaction to the Hardy punt return and look at the people waving and jumping up and down in the crowd, there's no way that that wasn't at least close to a 50-50 crowd. The Miami fans on the internet were absolutely unbearable all week. I mean, they're unbearable all the time. Look, I get that Bills Mafia can be a lot. There was a lot of shouting about, you know, Bills Mafia takes over Miami. And then all the Dolphins fans started shouting about how Fort Lauderdale is not Miami. And then Bills fans started pointing out that the stadium is equidistant between Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And there are direct Southwest and JetBlue flights from Buffalo to Fort Lauderdale. So it just makes sense. Maybe some people don't want to hang out in Miami. I know that sounds crazy. I saw somebody who was like, nobody would choose to live in Buffalo over Miami. Dude, I have zero desire to ever live in Buffalo again, but I would much rather live in Buffalo than in Miami. But anyway, how did all that trash talking work out for you guys?
Let's go, Buffalo! Break that shit!
Plus, they're just the worst losers. They're people who were literally crowing 3 days ago about how they were gonna win. Moments after their team loses, they start like weeping about how they need to trade Tua. You guys just calm down. So we've already kind of had to be playing like it's the playoffs for the last 5 weeks. Let's be honest, we weren't really playing like it was the playoffs for a couple of those games.
6 in the secondary, 3rd down and 6. Cook dropped it, picked it up, incomplete.
But we somehow managed to hold it together. I would like to give credit where credit is due. That journalist who wrote that article about Sean McDermott may have inadvertently actually saved our season, maybe not in the way he intended, but it clearly made the team bond together in a almost like us against the world, very protective way. And I think McDermott actually took some of the points of the article to heart, because if you look at the game the other day, you know, he was not playing to not lose the way he has in other games in the season. In particular, there was one play in the 4th quarter where we went for it on 4th and 1 on our own 37-yard line.
And they do go! And Allen surfs over the top and has the first down.
Which, that's very unlike him. That is not a thing that Sean McDermott would have done earlier in the season. And I think seeing some of his flaws talked about very publicly might have made him think that he needs to coach with a little bit more urgency. And he really needed that because it is clearly not in his nature.
But even in that last one, you're in that sort of, you know, you're in that 4th and at the 37, I think it was.
Yeah.
What went into
37.
all that? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just praying during that time.
Oh man, listen to him. Like, I have been firmly in team fire Sean McDermott at certain points in this season, but listen to this interview and tell me that your heart is not warmed by the happiness in his voice.
Coach, I want you to turn around and see Bills Mafia. Take a look at it right now. What's that say to you?
It's awesome. It's so awesome, man.
Congratulations, Coach. Have a great flight home.
All right, thanks, man.
All right.
Hello, everyone back home, man.
I know, man. It's going to be fun, isn't it?
baby. Don't stop it.
I don't know if I'm not supposed to have this kind of reaction to a bunch of grown men throwing a ball around and running into each other, but I'm like, oh, it's heartwarming. I feel that way about D'Amico Ryans winning with the Texans, coming back from their terrible season last year as a rookie coach with a rookie quarterback and making it to the playoffs. Like, I can't not look at video of him after that win the other day without being like, aww.
That stands up as the Texans get the victory. Seems that D'Amico's alone with the starts for the.
But yeah, as far as Sean goes, he did very pointedly exhibit one trait that was pointed out in the article during the game the other day, which is that he likes to throw people under the bus, and this time it was Josh.
Sean, denied in the end zone right there. What happened on that play?
It can't be thrown in the field of play. It's got to be thrown in the end zone.
Look, it was a dumb throw. But can we talk about what was that play call? I don't get what they wanted him to do. Why would you call a play with 11 seconds left that involves your second string running back running 1 yard from the goal line?
It's a lot on the line with these teams and the title. Allen slings it inside, stops toward the goal line. They're not going to get a playoff, and the half will come to an end.
What did you think was going to happen there? That hit was illegal as fuck, though. Ty Johnson is now in concussion protocol, so thanks for that. Also, McDermott had used up a timeout earlier in that quarter that they really could have used, and he has a tendency to do that too. But okay, if you want to blame Josh for what happened at the end of the half, blame Josh for that. Josh made some dumb mistakes. I don't know what that first interception was.
Dolphins bring the heat. Allen retreats and he throws an interception.
It looked a lot like that other game. I think it was overtime in the Eagles game where Gabe either ran the wrong direction or Josh threw the wrong direction. It was the exact same thing, not connecting with Gabe. I don't know who ran or threw the wrong route, but Josh could have looked. Like, he literally didn't look. The 4th and 2 interception was basically just an arm punt, so that's kind of whatever.
It's 4th and 2. He releases. He didn't even get out. Van Ginkel took him away. Josh flips it towards the end zone to Davis. Intercepted.
The fumble, meanwhile, was Christian Wilkins, who apparently grabbed Josh's balls again.
With Raekwon Davis hanging on him. Had to get to the 36-yard line.
He has done this to Josh before. He has done it to other players before. He did it at Clemson. Can the NFL please do something about this? But yeah, it's quite a Josh Allen game. It was more turnovers than touchdowns, but like 350 passing yards, 70% completion rate, 60 rushing yards, something insane. I don't understand how you can have your best game ever and your worst game ever and have them be the same game, but here we are. Woo. Okay, it wasn't his worst game ever. His worst game ever was that Jets game at the beginning of the season with the 4 turnovers, but he definitely did make some dumb mistakes in this game. But then he makes that crazy run on 3rd and 13, and then he throws these huge bananas, amazing passes to Kincaid.
Josh Allen, the 38, deep drop, sling down the sideline for the tight end, Kincaid! He's got it again!
To Shakir.
Diggs in motion. Allen looked his way. Now throws. It's Shakir down the sideline.
To Diggs.
2nd and 7. Miami bringing the pressure again. Allen fade away fling. Diggs down there. And Stefon Diggs brings it in.
Can we talk about Diggs for a second?
Inside the 10-yard line.
Look, first things first, I'm going to get it out of my system. Let's objectify Stefon Diggs for just a second. I thought Von Miller's gray sweatpants were a lot. I don't feel bad about this even. They know what they're doing. Anyway, this week was another fun week of discussion about Stefon Diggs. Why has his production gone down? Is he mad? Does he want to leave? Are the Bills trying to teach him a lesson by not using him? That was actually the plot of an entire article in The Athletic this week, which is honestly not outside of McDermott's toolbook. Like, it reminds me a little bit of what happened after the Cook fumble in the Broncos game, where he benched him for at least one series, possibly two. These guys aren't in kindergarten. It seems like not necessarily the most productive way to teach them lessons. But does this look like a man who is not all in on this team? Diggs is a hype man. Always has been, always will be. He wants to win.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
You want to know who the other best hype man is on this team? Josh Norman, of all people.
Let's go, man. We here, baby. AFC East champs. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Look at him follow Hardy up the sidelines.
He's in midfield. Nobody.
I don't think they signed him to play. I think they just signed him for his energy.
That's who the we are right now, man. That's who the we are. Let's go. Every time. That's a good decision, laying it down.
He's not always a great teammate, though.
No, Josh Norman is the cheater. He had 5 cards in his hand. It went around. It got back to him. He had uno, and no one knows how he had uno. He stood up, and all his cards fell out of his pocket.
Ugh, Rasul, I really thought we were pretty fucked when he went out. Apparently the injury isn't too bad. I think he's going to be able to play next week. And even at the time, he kind of thought he might be able to go back in. But apparently Dane Jackson came and talked him out of it.
When I went down and I was about to come back in the second half, and me and Dane had a talk. We usually talk all the time. We had a talk yesterday. He was just telling me about like what I meant to him and how I helped him and stuff. And then today he shook my hand. He was like, "Bro, like I got you." You know what I mean? And I was just like, "You know what? You do."
You hear that part about Jackson coming up to Douglas the other day and just telling him nice stuff about what he means to him and how much he helps him? That's why I love this team. That's the sort of shit that I'm talking about. The parasocial relationships. I don't know why I finger quoted that so many times. Now, Dane Jackson had a couple really boneheaded plays too. He had one brutal penalty that may have made me say not nice things. One of the reasons they made the trade is that Dane Jackson sucks. But then he did shit like this, so it's fine.
Rush to throws, broken up by Dane Jackson. Trying to get it to Cedric Wilson.
But this whole game was about the depth that we have on this team. We've seen it all season on the defense in particular. People have really stepped up, when Milano went out, when Daquan Jones went out. In this case, Douglas goes out, Dane Jackson steps up. Dion got his finger half ripped off in the middle of the game, and Ryan Vandemark came in.
Let's go!
And we scored a touchdown on that drive with our backup left tackle.
We tell them over and over and over and over all year long to stay ready, be ready, because your ticket is going to have to be punched and you're going to have to show that you can do it. And this was probably one of the biggest games of our season and for his career. And he went in there without no blink, communicated with Connor and Mitch, and was just no hiccup. And that's the best thing that I can ask for as somebody that's backing me up and that is in a role that he's in. He went in there and he did his job, and I'm proud.
And Gabe got hurt, and Sherfield came in and made this crazy catch.
Andrew Van Ginkel got his hand on the ball, and that catch and feet down. Oh, yeah. That is a touchdown. Wow.
Mike Tirico had come on and said, Trent Sherfield is in on this play. And I was 2 seconds away literally from saying, oh, Sherfield, nothing good ever happens when Sherfield comes on. Mea culpa, good job, Trent Sherfield. And I loved what he had to say about Josh after the game.
I had the privilege of obviously being able to play a little bit more today, man. And, I kind of caught myself looking at him in the huddle, and you could just see how much of a competitor he is when he's calling the play. You can just see it in his eyes, man. We're gonna get this. If it's a 4th and 1, or if it's a big play, we're gonna get it. We're gonna make it. That big run that he had, on the third. I think it was 3rd and 12 or whatever it may be to get the first down, man. You see it. He just oozes with confidence. He oozes with, man, just leadership, man. And it's an honor to be able to play with him. It's an honor to be able to catch passes from him, man. And I'm so grateful to be able to play with him.
And then Josh basically returns the favor at the press conference after the game and starts talking about the quality of his character and the character of all these other guys who come in and play when they really need them. They've got people like Rapp and Balin Spector and all these guys who just practice and work their asses off, and it pays off.
It says a lot about the depth that we have, but it talks a lot about the type of character that we have in this locker room. Guys that haven't been asked to do a whole lot, and maybe at times being frustrated or not happy with the role that they have on this team, but not complaining, not getting upset, finding a way to help this team make football play, win games and make football plays. And you saw that tonight. I'm so proud of those two. They've had a lot of up and downs this year. And again, arguably two of the biggest plays in the game were from those guys. So they've worked extremely hard and they deserve it.
Just the respect that this team has for each other is why I have so much fun watching this game, and that's why I don't count them out when they're 6-6. Some people will still count them out.
Sean McDermott's not going to be the head coach there because they are unequivocally missing the playoffs. There is no way out of this. Vegas gives them a 17% chance. The smart people at DVOA, Aaron Schatz and company, give them a 14% chance. I'm here to tell you it's a 0% chance. Because here's the reason people are giving them a chance is because they're like, well, if they win 5 straight. Guys, they're not a good enough team to win 5 straight.
He still will not admit defeat.
It's not. I do owe Bills Mafia an apology. Apology might be strong, but I was wrong. I flatly did not think they could rip off 5 straight wins. And the reason I didn't was because I did not trust Josh Allen to keep it together for 5 straight games. And the crazy thing is, he didn't, but they did. And that is, in a way, well, a lot of things. That is, in a way, more impressive. Josh Allen did not get on a 5-game peak roller coaster heater. That is not why they won these games. I would argue yesterday, and I know we'll discuss it throughout the show, was a perfect microcosm for the full Josh Allen experience.
And he said that.
He said for their season, and I'm talking about for him personally.
Yeah. The thing is that Nick Wright is not entirely wrong here. It is the Josh Allen experience. But the reason you get the high side of the Josh Allen experience is because you get the low ebb of the Josh Allen experience. You can't have one without the other. And despite the fact that that means my watch starts beeping and giving me exercise points in the middle of games because my heartbeat has gotten so fast, I still wouldn't want any other quarterback running this team. Hey, you want to hear from another ridiculous football commentator? Have Shannon Sharpe.
But I'll say this, I would cut Jameis Winston today. I would not want him on my team. That's loser's mentality.
Shannon Sharpe is ridiculous, but I will give him credit for his Cat Williams interview the other day. Cat Williams not only has the number of every comedian in Hollywood, he's got Shannon Sharpe's number too.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
No, I ain't got no...
It's like him. So Shannon Sharpe is talking about this situation in the Saints-Falcons game where there's a minute left and the Saints were up by 900 points. Not 900, like 20 plus points. They lined up in victory formation on the 1-yard line, and then instead of taking a knee, they ran the ball in for a touchdown.
So, there's a lot of factors that cause you to not be successful. And
this was basically the last straw, got Art Smith, the Falcons coach, fired, and also gave us this fun moment of an assistant Falcons coach walking by sounding a lot like me.
Shot at the end. He is hot.
I'm pretty foul-mouthed, if you hadn't noticed. There are a lot of bitch-ass motherfuckers on the Dolphins. Fucking Eli Apple. Anyway, I have a feeling that Dennis Allen, the Saints coach, is going to get fired too because he has clearly lost the locker room. The whole team, led by Jameis Winston, who's their backup quarterback, came together and went over their coach's head to call this play so that their running back, who led the league in touchdowns apparently last year, maybe the NFC, I don't pay attention to the NFC, but he had like 17 touchdowns last year and had none this year. So since it was the last opportunity, they let him run it in for a touchdown. Winston seemed pretty comfortable with that decision.
We know how much Jamal means to this team, and I understood from DA's perspective, so I give him that. Yeah, but DA didn't condone that at all. Yeah. You know, he didn't. However, we decided as a team to do it, and man, we got an interception to the 1 yard line. Yeah. You know, like.
So there's a lot going on there. Like I said, do not pay attention to the NFC, so my original take was that it was tacky, but Saints and Falcons apparently have a whole thing going on, and I'll just let them figure it out on their own. That doesn't involve me. Y'all do your own thing. Other fun NFC stuff, the Giants kept the Eagles out of the top of the NFC East. At one point, the Eagles tried to flop, but the Giants just weren't having it.
He's getting rushed there.
It looks like he wants to do the flop.
Cam Brown, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? What? Am I? Maybe?
Cam Brown's like, no.
Over on the Rams, Puka Nacua set a record for, I believe, the most yards by a rookie receiver ever. His coach was wise enough to immediately take him out of the game after that.
Oh, McVay, look at it, man.
That's more of a sigh of relief than anything else. Right, get him out. Get him out of there.
Get him out.
Which the Lions coach did not do with their star rookie, who's a tight end named Sam Laporta, who also hit a record. I think it was most receptions in a rookie season by a tight end. And then they left him in and he fucked up his knee.
It looks like it's going to be that left knee right there.
Immediately after that, news came out on the interwebs that Andy Reid was not going to be letting Travis Kelce play, even though he was up for his 8th straight season of 1,000 yards, and he was only, I believe, 16 yards away. And he could have made that decision a little bit sooner so that Travis Kelce could have gone to the Golden Globes with Taylor Swift, but oh well. This week we're going to be up against the Steelers. We are up against the Steelers because the Jags jinxed themselves.
Terrible towel. Is that allowed?
Oh, that's disrespectful now. You remember coming into the game, Trevor Lawrence was very respectful about coming here, one of the cathedrals of the NFL.
I hate Trevor Lawrence. I think he is the most overrated quarterback in the entire NFL, and it's not even close.
Lawrence took it himself, diving and short.
Not close. So thank you to the Titans.
It was a big relief. You know, Coach Vrabel and the Titans, I'm a fan of those guys. They helped, obviously, with us in this situation, and they helped today. So, got to thank those guys.
I think we play you next season now, so that gratitude only lasts a few months. Also, while I was putting together this video, I got a notification on my watch that the Titans fired Mike Vrabel, which I don't think he was the problem with that team at all. So maybe the Saints want him, or the Falcons, because Art Smith got fired like 2 seconds after that game. More likely, I think he might be taken over for Belichick. Regardless, Vrabel's probably getting offers as we speak. A friend of mine suggested we could get him for our defensive coordinator. He's not taking a defensive coordinator job. That man's gonna be a head coach in about 5 minutes. Steelers next week. Hopefully we win. Hopefully my husband's family is still speaking to me after we win. I'm not optimistic because this week they were already making unreasonable requests and threats. Go Bills.
Oh!